Okay, so I'm going to take you through 3 stretches for your glutes. I think your glutes is something that everyone works on building up, but people don't take enough time to stretch them, and they're a big key player in everything we do every day. So sitting, standing, walking, especially people who have taken up running for lockdown in this year. So I think personally, when I see people training in the gym and then stretching, or I ask people how they stretch, the glutes is normally one of those things that is definitely kind of just left out and just forgotten about, which I think in today's day and age, where most women I know do at least one glute focus day, is really important to kind of just highlight and I guess teach people how to use or stretch those muscles and just look after them properly. So 3 stretches. Start off with the easiest one, go to the more complex one. Each of these stretches will help you gain more mobility, more flexibility, and more strength in other areas. So it's not just the glutes we're focusing on, although they're the ones we're stretching. It will transfer into many other things kind of in your program that you do. So first stretch is kind of the easiest one, and you've probably seen it millions of times. I'm not going to give names because honestly I don't know what any of these are called. I don't do yoga, and when you do PT, no one tells you what stretches are called. You just know it as a glute stretch. So you're going to cross one leg in, and then you're going to cross the other leg across. You've probably all seen this before. Taking the opposite arm to leg that is up, you're going to bring it in to your body. So I like to bring the elbow into the knee, pull it forward, and then you're slightly twisting. What's really important with the stretch is that you're still sitting up tall. A lot of people will be kind of like pulling it into them, trying to get as much as possible. All you're going to do there is putting more strain on your back. So it's kind of just maybe stretching out like your spinal cords a little bit, but you're not actually stretching any of the muscles. So you're going to pull it in, sit up tall, so open up the chest, try and get as tall as you can in that head. And then you're going to try and get both your butt cheeks on the floor. So another common mistake is people pulling it really far back, and then they're just like bringing it really close, I guess, to their body, but then this butt cheek isn't on the floor. If it's not on the floor, you're not going to be stretching it. You might feel a little bit of a pull, but it's not the most optimal way. So you're going to pull in, make sure you're sitting on both butt cheeks, sit up tall, and then stretching apart. I'll move around so you can see, when I usually do it, I like to pull it together and then roll that arm out, because it means that I'm really stretching out through the shoulder to the shoulder, and I'm really thinking about where the stretch is going and coming through. So I'm pulling out of all kind of aspects, I suppose. Then you pull it together and squeeze. This foot doesn't need to necessarily be on the floor. It's about pulling this leg in. You might see people doing it on the floor, lying down, up and standing up. It's kind of just bringing this leg across and pulling it to your body, and it's going to stretch that glute muscle. So pulling it up and around, making sure you're breathing through and just letting it relax through. Next stretch is a little bit more complex. Not everyone can do it, but I find it is my favorite, and it's the one that I get the most kind of like I guess stretch from. Same position, you're pulling it in, and then you're crossing it over. So you're bringing that leg across onto the opposite knee and then pulling down. Now this is a position that most people cannot get into, so work up to it. If you can't get there, do the other one a little bit more, focus on stretching maybe a few other areas, and then work up to it. Once you're in this position here, you're going to lean the body forward and just relax over, and you'll feel like a huge stretching sensation in the top leg, in the glutes. So I'll do this side just so I can point and you can see what I'm talking about. Feeling it here, out here, and it's going to be a really deep stretch. You might feel like you don't need to go over that far, you might feel like you need to go a bit further. Whichever way it is, that's fine. So I like to put my elbows down and then just relax over here. Some people prefer to reach forward. If you reach forward, you'll get a little bit more of a stretch up your upper back too. Totally depends on where you want to feel it most and what works for you as well, because with stretching, as I've said a million times before, it is completely different from person to person. Last stretch is going to be one that you may have seen before. Again, I'd say this one's a little bit harder. If you can't do the other two, then wait until you've built up to get this one, because you won't feel it in the right place if you haven't got it. You're going to take the front leg in to kind of a right angle, and then you're going to take the back leg back and you're going to straighten it. Now ideally you want to keep this front leg at a right angle. Not everyone can do that. I can't do that right now. I used to be able to I've lost flexibility. So I'm going to pull the leg in just slightly, and I'm always going to be working on getting that right angle in that front knee. The back leg is as straight as it can be, might be a little bit relaxed, and you're going to play around with leaning forward and then sitting up, depending on where you're feeling it. As I said, you're going to need kind of a little bit more flexibility in the hips to be able to do this one. There's a lot more that plays into it, so if you're not the most mobile person, maybe leave it for a few weeks or months. But if you can, you'll find a really big stretch from this one. So you're going to lean forward. Doesn't really matter what's happening with the rest of the upper body. Could be rounded over, could be kept upright. Play around with it. It's literally what I say with everything. And do what works best for you. Best practice is to always sit up tall, pulling the shoulders back and down, working on the posture that you would normally use for other movements in this. The more you can get used to pulling the shoulders back and down, keeping up tall, the more you will be able to translate that into everything else. So with lifting, my clients will know pulling the shoulders back and down, having an open chest, sitting up tall, is something that I speak about a lot, and it will really help you if you can get into the habit of doing it regardless. So in this position here, I'll show again on this side. You're going to be feeling, so for me, it'll be slightly different, might be slightly different for you. Up here, I feel it really deep on the outside here, kind of going up maybe into the back a little bit because my glute on this side is really tight. Coming forward, I feel it much deeper. I feel it much deeper in the glute here, but also in the inside thigh of that front leg too. Again, as this leg is tighter, I'm struggling more to get this leg at a 90 degree, but as I go into it, I will push myself just to kind of get a little bit more flexibility in that area. So yeah, those are the 3 glute stretches, kind of beginner to advanced, different areas that you could be working on. If you find it helpful, please do let me know, give it a save, send it to someone you might think finds it helpful. Let me know what you want to see from me. Otherwise, have a wonderful day.